Hello, beautiful souls. I am the magical medium, and welcome to this spiritual guidance channel. Today, it is the full moon in Cancer. We have gone over the highest peak of the moon and now on the other side of it. I had some wonderful conversations with the Cancer energy, with some Cancer energies that I know in the universe. Just some really great lessons. I can't wait to share things with you guys. Also, a lot of things are changing, okay? So please bear with me. I'm sure we're going to have people coming and going and coming back and, never coming back again. And that's okay. Like we've always known, people stay in our lives for 5 minutes or they stay for a lifetime. We just don't know. I was very, very, very interested when I saw this past life deck wanted to talk to us today. And look at can we just talk about the candle for 5 seconds? When you're like trying to put something together and you're like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden it's like, bam. And you're like, holy shit. And like the angels come in and yeah. So I am right now, I am connecting with the apophyllite. I am connecting with the angels. And I wanted to let you know that my other channel is evolving, and Spirit came to me the other day, and I kept hearing over and over Lula's life. And I was like, okay, like whatever. Like in my mind, I'm thinking they're like, is it a book? I'm like trying to figure out like what it is. But then I realized, no, it was Spirit trying to tell me it was time to change my channel name. So my other channel there, if you obviously you found your way here to the Magical Medium, if you're new here, welcome. And for those of you who are coming back, welcome back. And thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for the donations, you guys. I am in such gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every time you send a donation to me in any form, I absolutely send a prayer back to you of abundance. So I hope you're feeling it. Anyway, I love you. Welcome. Blessed 2023. This is the first full moon of the year. And it's in such a transformative energy during a Mercury retrograde. I mean, there's just so much going on. And yeah, so my other channel started evolving too, and I can kind of see what Spirit is wanting me to do there, but it's going to take me a minute to kind of pry apart the Magical Medium and Lula's life. If you want to be a part of that channel, that's awesome. If you don't feel obligated. You know what I mean? If you come here, you're coming here for spiritual guidance. I'm always going to have some type of spiritual guidance just because of who I am and what I do. However, it is a place for me to be more free. And it's just about me and my experiences and like what I want to do or what I want to sing, or I love acting. I love playing with music. You guys know I love playing with Spirit. I love communicating with people in all different forms. So it's been really cool to have different conversations with people over there on that channel. So yeah, so just thank you so much. And if you are subscribed to both, thank you so much, you guys. It does really mean a lot to me. But only more like that you're really interested in what I'm doing and you support that. That's just fucking rad. So thank you. So today our theme is Fly Me to the Moon. I love it. Go to the community section and look at the picture. Not only was it like so perfect, because I was just like, okay, Spirit, like I always do this thing like in my mind, where I talk to Spirit and I say, okay, like what's this going to be today or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I said, what's our theme for our reading today? And then Fly Me to the Moon came on and I was like, come on. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome. But the cool thing is there's a lot going on. I took a screenshot of it. They told me right now, they're like, take a screenshot right now. And so I did. And oh man, it was just like, I was like, dude, this is part of my life path. It's just to like put shit out there, because when I looked back at it, it was like, I don't remember what time it was or whatever, but I think it was like I don't know, there was like a 19, and then it was like, I think my phone was at like 91% or 19%. You know what I mean? It was like something like that. And then when I looked down, like really click on it and look at the picture, like it was at like 19 seconds when they said click it right now, like where the song had started. It's just fucking wild. And also there's like a lot of like words going on the cover of the album, and it's Count Basie and Frank Sinatra. So, do with that what you will, but I'm just here to spread the fucking, breadcrumbs and be a muse. I think I've taken some of my gifts just a little too seriously, like a little too far, and I'm starting to kind of like peel back the onion and realize how much I need to dial it back a bit. So I don't know what's going to happen on this channel either. I'm just going to do whatever I am pulled to do. Okay. So, and you may like, again, you may walk with me for 5 minutes. You may walk with me, until I stop doing these, but, for now, thank you for being here. And I know that you guys are powerful light workers and angels, because seriously, look at that fucking candle. I mean, I'm not doing, it's a tea light. I mean, it's nothing fancy. However, it is on a gift from one of our subscribers, and thank you, Anna. And it's like, Anna, honestly, dude, you're like seriously one of the most magical creatures in the world. She also made this little moon painting. It's just really cool, but it's a tea light holder, okay? But I'm actually going to bring this down for a minute because I want to show you how rad this is. I've wanted one of these for a really long time, where like it holds the cards for you, but look at that. It's got the moons. I mean, Anna, for real, dude. Like, just the most awesome. So thank you. And now I have this like cool thing where I can like put the cards there. I'm really excited. Look at that. See what I mean? I just put it back. Oh, I love spirit. I love my job. I really do. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. Also, look at this fucking awesome crystal. My husband gave me this for my birthday, and it's got like some portal action going on in there too. I feel like when it's meant to be, they'll like have me work with that a little bit more too. But yeah, what is that? Is that like, because it's not a crack, but something's happening there. Woo! Okay. I love you guys. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Also, this moonstone, like there's just a lot of heavy energy here in like a good way. We've got Larimar. It's like we've got quartz, kyanite, jade, amethyst, selenite, black tourmaline. Over here in the corner even, I've got fluorite. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, this is so perfect. Okay, this is like kind of blowing my mind right now, because this was given to me by a Cancer, by my dear friend Bailey. And here is, oh my gosh, I feel like that wants to go there right now, just for right now, just until we pull cards. Because I feel like, see what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter where I go. They're just here right now. They're talking to us. And I feel like they want to play a little bit with this crystal. So I'm going to let you guys do some scrying or whatever you want to do. But that is a green fluorite in the middle there. Lots of beautiful, beautiful energy happening. I love you guys so much. The world is changing. We are changing. We are ever evolving. And I feel like when Spirit said, fly me to the moon, I feel like that's them saying to us, like, for real, don't just like for the last year, like clockwork, I have been following, like the number 8 infinity energy, just like without even thinking about it, just following the flow of energy of the moon cycles. But it wasn't until I started doing my calendar for this year that I really was starting to look at them differently, and looking at the eclipses and, what I mean, retrograde season and all that stuff. Like when I started putting it in the calendar, it just makes you look at things so differently. And I realized that it's not just me following these 8 moon cycles. It's not just me doing readings every moon cycle. It's that with each moon cycle, we really learn something, right? Because right now we're in Capricorn energy. It's January 6th, 2023 in real time when I'm doing this. So in real time, let's add that up. Okay, so if it's January 6th, January's 1, 6 is today, 2023, right? So we've got 1 and 6 is 7, then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's 14, but then also if you add it together, it's the number 5, about change and transformation. Also, it's full moon Friday. I mean, come on. I didn't even like put it together till like Spirit like had me, they kept like emphasizing Friday, and I was like, okay, I know, I get it. I know it's on Friday. And sometimes I feel like they're like trying to talk to me. I can only imagine what it's like being my spirit guides, honestly. I have the attention span of a gnat, especially because most of the time I'm stoned. Not like stoned out of my mind, but I smoke a lot of cannabis. I love, that's my medicine. It's like, that's how I work with the universe and yada, yada, yada. But it's just, and it's also, thank you, Spirit. It's the way I explore the human psyche is through cannabis, through the plant medicine, because the plant medicine, like my husband's really into the plant medicines as well, but he's more into like ayahuasca and, DMT and things like that. And when he's having these experiences and he's out in nature, like I've seen him, I've videotaped him. He actually gave me permission to videotape him. And I have this video, I have to find it, but it's so good. And it's like, I shit you not. I mean, I watched the plants lean into him. It was the coolest thing. I was like, am I really high right now? Or do those plants just fucking like literally like, and they did. It was really cool. And I was like, wow. But that's what I felt from the first time I met him. I was like, okay, this is like, I don't know who you are or where you come from, but like, I want some of that. But we had a lot of struggle and, in our personal lives, in our relationship. And we have gone through so much together. And I remember I said to him one time, do you think we had a past life together? And he was like, yes. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I just like dismissed it. I was like, I don't think so. I think, and I just like went through this whole thing. But it's interesting how in the last year, since we stopped lying, since we took the masks off, since we decided to fully commit to each other, because even though we had gotten married and I thought we had committed to each other, there was like another year of adultery. And he didn't act on it, but it was still like this attention seeking, like having to like, he never acted on anything. I investigated thoroughly, but also I knew but I knew he was lying to me. That was the thing. It was like, it would drive me crazy because I'd be like, my ego was like all up in a fucking tizzy because I'd be like, I know you're fucking doing something. I'm not stupid. I'm like, I can feel it. I'm like, I can totally fucking feel it, And it was like he was trying to challenge whether I was like, so then it would get to the point where like he would do the craziest, weirdest shit. And we'd just be sitting there watching TV. And one of my spirit guides would come through and be like, X, Y, and Z. And I would turn and say it to him. And he would look at me and I'd see his whole fucking face drop. And I'm like, dude, when are you going to fucking get it? Like, when are you going to, like, you're never going to get one over on me. Ever, ever, ever. And I started to realize what a fucking egomaniac I became. And it's actually the cancer that gave me this beautiful fluorite in the middle, this moon-shaped fluorite. I had no idea this was all coming together, but it's so beautiful. There are so many things that have been gifted to me here. So thank you guys, like really. And also I'm realizing a lot of other things. I'm having a lot of breakthroughs and it's amazing. But I started to like realize like how much my ego was getting in the way. And, it was almost like I didn't want to see myself the way that I needed to see myself. It was fucking tough. And my ego was having a really hard time. Really hard time. I want to turn this because they're telling me to, so I don't know what this means, but maybe it's for scrying or for somebody. There's something there, something. Maybe you're going to see something through this doorway back there. I'll put a little emphasis there for you. But all I can say is that I wouldn't change a thing. And thank you for the amethyst, for the healing of the amethyst. Sorry, that's my rings smacking together. It's the powerful energy of transformation and change. But we have to be open to it. We have to accept it. I joke and use the yoga pants reference. And when I say that it is me being a dick, I guess. But basically it's like, I don't have time for the people who, run around in yoga pants and they're like, oh, I'm going to work out. I'm going to work out. And I'm like, dude, if you like yoga pants, just fucking wear yoga pants. You don't need to like put them on to like tell, you know what I mean? Like just do you, like be who you are. Like who fucking cares? I got tired of people explaining things to me and it was almost like, and I'd have that people would say to me, I feel like I need to like, I can't lie to you. Or they're like, I feel like I have to explain this to you. Cause I'd be like, you don't have to explain. And they're like, no, I feel like I need to. I'm like, all right, And it's like, the more I started to realize who I was, the more I realized how much it was holding me back in a lot of ways because I wasn't allowing myself to just like peel back my own onion and unfold like my past lives and get, cozied up to the present so that I can start dreaming about my future. It's like I was living in the past, present, and future all the time because I'm always in all worlds all the time. Unless I literally have to ask for permission or like which is okay. You have to set your boundaries with the spirit world too. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because they can doesn't mean you have to listen. You know, sometimes you want to make your own mistakes or you want to make your own choices. But I have, you know, whatever's going on with me, I started to realize from an early age that it was almost impossible for me to turn it off. I would have to literally say, I need some time to myself. I mean, and I'll tell you, this is where, like, those things that, like, you don't talk about or whatever, you don't tell people, but you have like that inner dialogue or shit that happens, you know. I remember, like, one of the first times I started to understand and recognize what masturbation was. And I remember, like, saying, now this is growing up in a very Christian, right-wing Republican, like, you do as I say, not as I do bullshit, you know, fucking patriarchal, the divine feminine masculine was all over the fucking place. No, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. But I started to, like, understand the infrastructure and how fucked up it was, and that, like, I couldn't hear certain things but then see certain things, and I was just like, what is happening? I'm like, what is going on in the world? I'm like, what is going on? Like, I just started to feel broken myself and fractured, and I realize now, like, working through all this stuff with spirit, going through the dark, dark, dark shadow, going through the dark night of the soul, acknowledging, you know, my past, acknowledging my present, acknowledging that there is a future, acknowledging my fear, acknowledging my pain, acknowledging my suffering, and acknowledging that forgiveness does exist, and that we all deserve to be forgiven, and we all deserve to have another chance. But at the same time, we can give someone another chance and then be like, okay, you know what? It's the same. I'm going back. And I've been noticing that. And also, for some of you, I meant to say this before, for any of you who reached out to me for my birthday through text, email, messaging, however, you left me messages, voice messages, if I have not gotten back to you, I am just trying to play catch up. I was really sick for like 2 weeks. And I'm so, so sorry that I haven't gotten back to you, but I appreciate your message and I love you. And I've been saying in all the readings, but I'm like, I'm going to keep saying it until I actually get back to everybody. Anybody who's messaged me, basically, it's January 6th, 2023. Anybody who's messaged me since December 13th, I swear, if I haven't got back to you, just know I love you. And it wasn't like, I am so in gratitude that you thought of me over my birthday or the holidays, you know, Yule, you know, whatever. I'm like, I heard Hanukkah, you know, whatever it was, you know, for some of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am in gratitude, and Happy New Year and blessings to all of us. But yeah, it's like I just started to unravel a lot of things, and I was like, okay, I think I'm beginning to understand what's happening, which is why I know I'm being a little cryptic right now and I'm kind of all over the place, but it will all come together. I promise you. I feel like 2023 is going to be one of the most transformative years we've ever had. And if you feel so inclined and pulled to it, look up the number 7, whether you're life path 7, whether in numerology, angel number 7. But sevens are cycles. I mean, look at, we have 7 days in a week. You know, I mean, I can go on and on. There are so many representations of 7. There's a lot of numerology that's represented in, you know, we have 12 months, but when you put that together, that's 3. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's my husband. He texted me. He's like, I'm on my way home. I'm like, that's okay. I'm like, I'm just about to start this reading. I'm like, but you are more than welcome to come in. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a pin in that there because I was kind of feeling a little rambly anyway. But the number 19 they wanted me to bring up too, and 17 for some of you, but I'm going to put it on pause, and then when I come back we're going to talk about the energy of Cancer and how it applies to us and how we can work and continue working through this energy of the Mercury retrograde that we're in right now. But also we're going to dive into the past life deck and see if we can get some messages from Spirit about which direction we need to go. All right, I'll be right back. Well, welcome back. I know it was like a second for you guys. Mucho minutes for me. However, look at how cool. Look at I got to play and look at all this awesomeness that came in. So the lavender came in over here and I was actually burning it. And when I started to burn it, it was like really burned. So for some of you, if you're looking for like a really good clearing, an energy for clearing, lavender is really, really, really good for that. Ooh, listen to that airplane. Also, it's like pouring rain out there right now. Or I guess, is that a helicopter? No, that's a plane. Wow, that's really low. Do you guys hear that? Okay, concentrate on the healing. Thank you, Spirit. In this full moon energy, we ask that you release all of us from anything and everything which no longer serves our greatest and highest good. With grace and gratitude, love and peace, we say thank you, thank you, thank you to the past. Ooh. We move forward to the future as we remain in the present. Thank you for the calming energy of lavender. I wish that we had smell-o-vision, because seriously, it smells so good right now. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for cleansing away any energies that no longer serve us. That's what the full moon energy is all about, release. It's about the culmination, it's about the celebration of, like, I mean, in many cultures, for many, many, many moons, there wasn't electricity. So the full moon was a celebration, because that's when, like, it was like having the lights turned on. It was like this kind of beautiful energy, this mystical, beautiful, light shining up in the sky, giving them the illumination that they need, maybe gives you a little more light to finish a project. This is also called the wolf moon, and it's a micro moon, which means that it looks really, really far away. And the reason why it looks really, really far away is because our planet, it's like when we're moving and we're, in orbit, we turn, right? And the planet like moves around on its axis. And so sometimes the moon is so high up that we actually, it looks like it's far away, but sometimes we're really, really close to it. You know what I mean? So it just depends. Anyway, so if I'm called to, there was a few articles that I was really interested in that led me to this reading today. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my gosh. So anyway, if they're, look in the box below, in the description box, if they have me put anything anywhere, that's where it will be, links to certain things. But there was some really, really great articles that I read today, and just a lot of stuff I've been doing as I've been working on the calendar for the, for the 2023, the new year. But I think it's interesting that that butterfly is out too, that wanted to come in. This is actually a toothpaste holder that I turned into a candle holder, which is now like just any holder. And at first I was upset because it burned it. And I was like, no, I want to use it for my bathroom. They're like, it's not for your bathroom. I'm like, oh, so it's got a lot of magic going on there. But I'm feeling red too, because like this cloth is like a deep red. And then obviously, this is a deep red. So red is the color for us to work with right now. And if you look at the Cancer, it's the crab is always like in a red, so there's something there. And also, before we move forward, I want to bring up a few key words about the Cancer energy. Now, they had the like highlights and the lowlights, right? Because we all have our white light side, and we have our dark side. And it's interesting that when I wanted to separate them, and I was going to do, I was literally called to use like a pink pen, which I thought was so interesting. And then I wanted to like do the, the cons, so to speak, in black. And they were like, no, because it's all the same, because it's all in the way you look at it. So here are the key words. And interestingly enough, I put this line before I realized that there were going to be pros and cons like that. So I think it's interesting. It's almost like they want us to look at like, like from across, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to leave it there for a second. So we have sensitive, but we're going to go across, right? So sensitive, romantic, domestic, creative, feminine, gossipy, maternal, cliquey, compassionate, isolated, caretakers, hypersensitive. And then on the flip side, we have passive aggressive and overly competitive. So I just thought that was interesting, because that's the energy of Cancer, right? We have to remember that just because someone is a Cancer does not mean that they are all of their traits. when I was growing up and I would read anything about Sagittarius, I was like, oh, dude, I'm like, and people would say, they're like, dude, you're like everything, like everything they say about Sagittarius, you know? So I always like took that to heart. But then as I, you know, started to really work with the energies, I realized that my moon was in Scorpio. And then like one of my best friends growing up was a Scorpio. And so I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. Like why we got along so well, why, you know. So anywho, I was, you know, it's like I'm a Sag, but then my sun and my ascending are Sag as well. And then my moon's in Scorpio. So, you know, it's like, yeah, of course I'm going to be mostly like, you know, my things would be, right? So it's like, if you're somebody who has a lot of Cancer, I felt warmth back there. I'm like, I don't want to start it on fire. If you have a lot of, you know, Cancer in your chart, then you would align with these things, right? But you may or you may not. But either way, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this is about the moon. This is about the full moon in Cancer today. And this is the energy that's around. Take people out of it. Take humans out of it. This is energy. Cancer is an energy, right? So if you look at it like that, you know what I mean? Like that it's not about like there's like positive or negative, light or dark. It's like they're just saying that there's going to be sensitive energy, romantic energy. You're going to feel... And let me tell you, when I was writing this down, I'm like, domestic was like fucking crazy because from yesterday afternoon until right before I started this, and now it's almost dark, I'm not kidding you. Like, I've been baking, cooking. I made a chili. I'm like so excited for dinner tonight. And I'm in the midst of making like this blueberry. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if I'm making granola. I don't know if I'm making cookies. I thought I heard Spirit say something about peanut butter. And I was like, ooh, that sounds good. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, and I was feeling romantic. Like, oh, I want to bake for my husband. Like, I want to, you know, I want to do things for him. I was super creative. I colored. I've been coloring like crazy. You know what I mean? Like the creative part, it's like, I just realized it. And the feminine energy, I've been like that too, like wanting to feel like more clean and like my hair pulled back and like this kind, not that that is feminine, that's what feminine to me is, you know what I mean? Like where I've kind of got this like very fresh, clean energy. So, and the gossipy stuff, isolated, cliquey, absolutely. Holy shit. Like we were talking about certain situations and things that we've been dealing with. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I even said to him, I go, dude, I feel like I'm being so gossipy right now. Like it's none of my fucking business. I'm like, oh my God, I got to stop talking about that. So just be mindful that if you're a sensitive and to energies, you're going to feel this. I mean, hello, it's pouring right now. And we're talking about water energy. They are hypersensitive. I mean, every Cancer I've ever known was hypersensitive, but I am super sensitive. So I get that. And I totally like understand that. You know, all of these things and caretaking, like I've been like, you know, on full high mode, like so are any of these applying to you guys? And the overly competitive is really funny because I was like, can't I just have one fucking channel? Why do I have to do... They're like, you don't have to do anything. They're like, you don't have to have either channel if you don't really want to. And I was like, no. I was like, no. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to do this. You know, they're like, okay. And the Lula's Life thing, I thought that was just so interesting because I started to understand what they were doing and how they're like starting to pull them apart, so that I can really understand who I am and what my purpose is here. So same for you guys. You know, I feel like this full moon, this past life, like this is no joke. Oh, I took the cards out already. So, oh my gosh, I barely even moved the cards or shuffled. Look at this, ships. So I'm going to put up a few different cards and I will see what Spirit wants us to do. Oh, also the feminine thing, they wanted to remind us that a week from today is the first Friday the 13th of the year. And it's the Goddess Day. It's the day of the Goddess. It's actually really lucky. So don't look at it as unlucky. Friday the 13th is very, 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 very lucky. And also a great day to get your groove on and dig into that divine feminine energy. It does not matter whatever you align with in your human form, but this is about just really aligning with that, you know, massive, gorgeous, divine feminine energy, just to blow up. You know what I mean? Like just really connect to it. Mercury is going to still be in retrograde, but that's okay. Work with the energy. Don't work against it. You know, let it work for you, not against you. Also, this rock out of nowhere came in and I felt like it wanted to go there. Okay. So I don't know, you know, this is for you guys to, you know, this is for all of us. We're all going to get different messages from this. Oh my gosh, forgiveness. But they're having me pull the cards up first, and then we're going to talk about them more in depth. Oh my gosh. Imprisonment or slavery. Holy shit. How cute. Okay, I have a feeling this is... Okay, I'm going to back up a bit because we're going to probably need some room here. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Okay. They're like, you can use this. Because I didn't want to cover up the moon. They're like, you don't have to. You can use this thing. I'm like, oh yeah. Nice. Okay, so obviously we're having more cards because I'm like, I was feeling that from them. Okay. Listen to that water. Let that rainwater wash away all your worries, all your pain, all your suffering. Let it go. Let the past go. If you feel like you're on the hamster wheel, get off. It doesn't work for you. It's not serving you. Get off. Leaving or travel. Yes. Oh, listen to that. Leaving or travel. So some of you, I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. They said this can go back in there. Okay. Leaving or travel. Okay. Let's see. Did you guys see that fairy fly in there? And, okay, interesting that we have leaving or travel, ships, forgiveness, imprisonment, or slavery. Okay, you know what? I don't need to pull any more cards because I think they just told us everything. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me see if they want me to read from the book, because the book is really awesome, but it also, sometimes I'm like, I don't like align with it. Also, oh my gosh, I hope they have me do this, but okay, I'm just getting really excited. There's a lot coming through. Okay, hold on. Okay, so interesting. So we have the cards like this for a reason right now. And then, you know, if you've been here before, you know, like sometimes like at the end of the reading, like Spirit will have me shuffle them up again and like show us a different like picture. So I'm just going to start with the leaving or travel. We don't need to read the book. It's very self-evident. So I'm going to tell you what I'm feeling, and then I'm going to read the other cards, okay? So the ships is, just because I know the card really well, it really has a lot to do with like past life experiences, like living aboard a ship, dying on a ship, you know, things like that. So that could be something like a reoccurring dream that comes up for you. But also a lot of times when I pull that card, sometimes I don't, but a lot of times I feel pirate energy. So you could have been somebody who lived aboard a ship, or you may be a pirate, or you're really drawn to pirate stuff in this lifetime, or mermaids, you know, that kind of like whole siren song, like the old folk legends, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp, like that old, like I feel that. Oh, I just got the chills. But I'm hearing for some of you, it's time to write about it. You have a story. You've been thinking about this. You've been talking about this, maybe with your spirit guides or with spirit, or I don't feel like you've really talked to a lot of people about it. If you did, it's like one person that you totally fucking trust. And I feel like it's a male energy, masculine energy. But anyway, so I'm hearing, yes, 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 write the book, write the story, write the screenplay. Just because they have Pirates of the Caribbean doesn't... There are other stories that have happened, you know what I mean? Walt Disney, like Disney hasn't... I feel like I have to scream, oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, you have to turn it down. Oh, it's the angels weeping. Oh, I just heard Spirit say that. Let's take a minute for the angels. We honor you. We love you. They want you to know that they are weeping with joy because they see our future, and it's so bright we're going to have to wear shades. And they want you to hear this. This is like the real energy, no matter where you live or what time it is right now or what's happening or what the weather is. They want you to feel the power of this rain crashing on my roof right now so that you can feel all of the pain and suffering going away. You have got to get out of this situation. Whoever this is for, this may be for everybody. Whatever it is, work, home, play, fun, family, fucks, friends, all the F's, right? Like forgiveness, let it go, say thank you with grace and gratitude, and go bye-bye. Because this situation, you literally feel like you are imprisoned and in slavery. And for some of you, it's okay because you're comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with being comfortable. But like, I'm getting this vibe from spirit. Then if you're going to be there, then you need to work with the shadow. You need to really work with the shadow. Get it out. Talk about it. Your imprisonment and slavery is self-made. You actually hold the keys and you can leave at any time. For some of you, Spirit says safe travels. Yes, take that trip. Some of you, you've been thinking about splurging. I'm going somewhere warm, but you're like, oh, but I got to save to move out. Or you're like, they're like, you know what though? Sometimes you can have a life-changing experience. Like, let's just say you saved up like $2,000 to like get a new place, but you're just like ready to fucking snap. And you're like, I don't really have enough. I need 4,000. And, you know, I'm just giving a scenario. I don't know. This is just like coming out. But Spirit's like, imagine if you took that 2,000 and you invested in yourself and you went somewhere for like a week. You know, whether it's a warm climate or what, you know what I mean? Like, depending on where you live. But somewhere where you could really pamper yourself. Maybe you go to a spa. You know, maybe something you would never do, that you would never splurge that much money on yourself. But you know what? And then you come back. Because a lot of times you're like, I'm not going to spend my money on that. I'm going to come back and my life's still going to be here. It's like, yes, but you will be different. You will handle it differently. And you don't know that somebody might be like, hey, dude, I heard you're looking for a place. I have to, you know, go somewhere for 6 months for my job. Can you watch my house and watch my dog? And you're like, oh my God, yes. And then you get a fucking job there, a part-time job or whatever, but you don't have to pay rent, right? Because you're like living there and you're like house sitting for somebody to take care of an animal, but you're enjoying it. You're in solitude. You're away from that fucking situation you didn't want to be in, right? And next thing you know, you saved up $8,000 or something. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. You never know. Get a fucking job where you like make tips and like crank it out, where you like you can pick up shifts or whatever. Like, I'm just getting like you don't have to live in this imprisonment or slavery. It's absolutely positively self-inflicted, self-induced, Spirit said. They want me to read the ships because all of these have different meanings, right? Like, so even though they have words and like I just told you that part, they also mean things. Like, they have like, this is the past life deck. So it has something to do that with something that you need to confront and you need to let go of and release, right? So this says, your prior lifetime spent on ships bring this card to you today. As a former sailor, crew member, or ship passenger, you've had experiences at sea that have exerted an influence on the situation you're inquiring about. You probably already have a sense of the type of life you had aboard these ships. The question now becomes how your experiences have affected your present life now. Negative reactions, such as fears and phobias, or positive reactions, such as longings to travel or a special affinity for the ocean, all may have arisen in prior lifetimes. Have you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life? It is literally my favorite movie in the universe that I know of, in this lifetime anyway. But one of my favorite things he says, he hears, whoo, whoo, and he says to somebody, you know what the best sounds in the world are? And he's like, what? And he's like steam engines, train whistles, like all these things. Like, he brought up like all these like traveling sounds. And because he kept trying to leave, but no matter what, he couldn't leave where he was living. He's like, all these things kept coming up, family obligations, you know, whatever, this happened, that happened. I don't want to give it away if you've never seen it, but, you know, do yourself a favor and watch it, because it's life-changing. You don't have to watch it just because it's Christmas time. It's just Christmas themed, but it's about, you know, the imprisonment or slavery. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, he kept himself in imprisonment. He became more angry and grumpy as the years went by because, you know, he didn't get to do the things he wanted to do. And in the end, he got to see like life from a different perspective. And he got to see that actually he was very rich in his life, and that, you know what I mean? So it could even be for some of you guys that, you know, you will leave, but maybe you just, you know, maybe you don't need to leave like your town or where you live. You just need to leave where your job, or you just need to leave where you're living. Or, you know, for some of you, I'm hearing the forgiveness is forgive your parents for, you know, like forgive them for they know not what they do. You know that saying? Like forgive them and let it go. But you cannot like stay in a certain situation or a mindset. I had this moment earlier today where I was talking to Spirit about my own life, about my own forgiveness and how to move forward. And I had so many epiphanies. I'm going to read this to you right now. Forgiveness. The situation you're inquiring about will be healed or improved through your willingness to release old stored anger. You may not even be consciously aware that you've been holding on to resentment. Your anger may show up in subtle ways such as high blood pressure, addictions, insomnia, or moodiness. Wouldn't it feel great to have stable moods and more control over your health? Forgiveness isn't the same as saying that the actions of others were justified or acceptable. No, instead, forgiveness is a statement of self-empowerment. You choose to detoxify yourself of all stored anger and other negative energies. After all, when you hang on to anger, it only hurts you and not the other person. To heal the situation, be aware that meditation and introspection are important practices that can help you. See that your anger is merely a transient feeling, like a dark cloud floating across the sky. Recognize that the source comes from a past life and let it go. Forgiveness is cathartic and profoundly healing. Free yourself from negative and harmful emotions. Oh my gosh, that's crazy town. All right, I am going to say when I look down, it was 4141, and that's 5-5, and that's completion, that's change, transformation. Also, it was like, it's on page 42, and it's like, I feel like, you know, we're getting close to wrapping this up. So the imprisonment or slavery, we're going to read, oh, you know what, this came up, and I want to talk to you guys about this. I don't know if we're going to do a reading on this. Maybe Spirit will have me do a reading on this. That's not moon related, I don't know. But look out for, I just put together this little shorts about karma from Deepak Chopra, and it's just so profound. But yeah, the anger thing is really real, and that we have to learn to, you know, control our anger. It's hard, trust me. I mean, sometimes you gotta blow, right, because you hold it in for too long. But the thing is that it's not about like holding it in until you blow your stack. It's about when it happens, walking away, taking a deep breath, crying, laughing, screaming, whatever you need to do. Ooh, 42 when I look down. See what I mean? Like, it's just like coming. 6 and 6, which is also 12 and the number 3. So all of these energies, all of these angel numbers, all this numerology, these are signs, synchronicities, things that Spirit's like putting out to us, like, you know, showing us that like all of our lives may be completely different, but we are together energetically at the same place because we are all on the same planet together. And we have gone out of the chrysalis now. We are into the butterfly. We just haven't fully flown yet. I feel like by spring and fall for our Southern Hemisphere people, I feel like we are going to feel so much better. I'm telling you, like, there was a lot of life lessons that went through 2022. It was not an easy year for most people I know. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Let yourself evolve and grow. Give it to the angels. When you can't forgive, give it to the angels. Give it to your higher power. And when you're ready, you will. Because when you don't forgive, that's what keeps you imprisoned and a slave to your own emotions, to your own. Lately, thank God, my husband's been like, your anger is like, you know, and he's been so loving about it and so gentle. And I really needed to hear it. And I've been having these outbursts. And then finally, like yesterday, I had this moment where I just bawled my fucking eyes out. Please have a good cry over this Cancer moon. If you have already, please tell us below how it went for you. Always feel free to, you know, say what you want to say below. I won't promise you that I'll keep it there. You know, if it's a negative thing or if it's something dark and it doesn't need to be there, I may take it off. But let it go, let it flow. Because yesterday I had a little breakdown, little meltdown, And I just started crying and I leaned forward, and my husband did the one thing I've been like wanting. Well, he's been doing it a lot over the last year, but like one of the things I always wanted was like when I was really having a tough time, you know, I was like, gosh, can't you just like rub my back or like be here for me or tell me everything's gonna be okay? Like, you know, I'm like, I can't always be the one giving all the positive energy. I'm like, can't you just be there for me, you know, kind of thing. But it was such a great moment because all of a sudden, like, I was like leaning forward and crying. I wasn't expecting it. And he just started rubbing my back and I was like, thank you. And I felt better. I was just like, you know, and the dark cloud passed and I was all right. And I released the anger and I released the frustration. I had a lot of conversations with spirit today. I luckily was blessed with solitude, a lot of solitude today. It was really nice. Um, and so I suggest you do the same, you know, because this was at the bottom. This is what I wanted to show you earlier, but they said it wasn't time yet. So get out into nature. We're still in Capricorn energy until we go into Aquarius, okay? So, you know, get out into nature, talk to the trees. When it's getting really bad, talk to the trees. Talk to nature. Okay, so imprisonment or slavery. This card signifies that you spent time imprisoned or in slavery. Your rights were taken from you, as well as your dignity and freedom. You are free now, but you still may harbor years and years of fears related to that lifetime. For example, you may feel claustrophobic in confined spaces or on airplanes, or you may have developed a form of Stockholm syndrome where you feel empathetic toward those who abuse you. On the other hand, your experiences can also make you feel exquisitely compassionate, thank you, Cancer energy, toward those who suffer. You may devote yourself to defending underdogs and bringing more love and justice to this world. To heal any residual fears from that previous lifetime, remember the details of that past life to loosen the shackles and free yourself from the symptoms. Channel your altruistic feelings and tendencies into helping society. Acts of kindness and compassion heal the individual as well as the world. And oh my gosh, by the way, the deck was like this when I looked down. So for some of you, you were married to this person in a past life. And I know it sounds creepy, but it could even be a family member, a friend, your boss. You know how you have that connection with somebody, even an animal, and you're like, dude, like I've known you before. And you're like, I feel like I've known you on an intimate level. You know what I mean? And also look at how imprisonment and slavery is like in the background, but leaving or travel is like right here. So I feel like there's something with that. I feel like with some of you guys in a past life, you were traveling with your significant other, and I think they died while you were traveling. And I also feel like some of you, the reason why you're imprisoned and enslaved in these relationships is because like something happened in the past life where you couldn't save them. And so now in this life, you are like bound and determined to save them. You don't know why. You don't know why you want to save them, but you're like, no, I know it. I know I'm meant to save them. And look at this. Look at the amethyst in front of the moon, that healing energy. I love how, Anna, I love how we like, it's meant for like a tea light and cards. And I was so excited to use it and I didn't. I used it for the fluorite. That's awesome. So I'm going to do one last pass. I'm going to close my eyes, give you a little look there. But you know, the healing in front of the moon, it's like use the moon's energies and the moon cycles to really heal through your situations. Because I'm feeling like for some of you guys, like this butterfly, like you're like this butterfly that's like all sparkly and pretty, but you're allowing certain people to like steal your thunder. It's like, and they're blinding you to your, like your, look at the portal in there. Do you see like that? I'm going to put this over here. All right, now, okay, now we're gonna play. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I shuffled, I didn't look. I'm as excited as you are. I'm actually gonna go down a little bit though, because they wanted me to point out to this little portal, like there's like a little eye in there. There's like a message for somebody in there. Oh, they had me shuffle again. Oh, I love it. This is awesome. Okay, so they'll tell me when it's ready. They'll tell me when it's ready. So let's, okay. Okay. All right. They like pulled it away from me. Okay. So here we go. Oh, imprisonment or slavery. It was upside down. Interesting. Okay. So we're going to move this here. Imprisonment or slavery. Oh, forgiveness. Interesting. It's upside down. You can take those for whatever they mean to you. Ships was upside down. So they were all upside down. So I feel like this could be, you know, Spirit's way of telling you. Oh, I just heard time travel for some of you. You've been time traveling through your sleep. Oh, I know. Okay, 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 okay. So for some of you, you're literally like traveling through dimensions and portals, and that's why it's like they're showing the suitcase. And I feel like for some of you, like you wake up in the morning and you're like or you're like traveling, you're astral traveling and you're like having this awesome thing, and then you wake up and you feel like you're in prison here. I fucking get that. I do. I literally just said that to my husband the other day. I was like, babe, I'm like, that's when I started crying. I was like, I go, I feel like I'm a slave here because I feel like I keep trying to do this and trying to do that. I'm like, but this is happening. And like, I get all these signs that I should go here and I should go there. But it's in the meantime, though, I'm learning so much and I'm learning how to really forgive, right? So interesting. So, what does this mean for you guys? So, imprisonment or slavery, forgiveness, ships, and then leaving or travel. Isn't that interesting? But you have to forgive yourself first, Spirit said. I know this is long and it's running on, but you have to forgive yourself first. Because as RuPaul always says, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. It is the truth. Don't shroud in the darkness. Look at that. That's the angels talking to you through that candle right there. See that X? A lot of people have said throughout history and time that the X represents Jesus. And if the X represents Jesus, then that represents love. And you have to remember that loving yourself is the first thing that you need to do, right? Loving yourself and forgiving yourself. And when it's time, your ship will set sail. When you've had enough, you will pack that fucking bag and you will get out. But until then, whatever, any of these pearls of wisdom that came through for us, the angels are here. The dove's there for you to see. I've been like, I went on an adventure the other day and I took so much footage. It was unbelievable. Spirit had me do this really cool reading with like this beautiful white feather. I was just like walking along the beach and it just like came up to me and it like even went into like a shape of a fleur-de-lis and I was just like, what is happening? Like it was really cool because I have a really cool connection to France and Paris, like my lineage, my family. So our ancestors are talking to us all the time, but we need to let go of the past shit so that we can live in the present and move forward. And may this beautiful, blessed full moon in Cancer energy illuminate all there is for you to see. Come out of the darkness and then come back to the light. Bring the light back in. Follow the light. They had me go to the right and I didn't understand, but now I know why. Because once you realize that this prison isn't right for you and you don't belong here and you forgive it and you forgive your past and all that, your ship will fucking come in. The net will be there. But you have to do the work. Spirit can't do the work for you. If you want to get out of it, you have to get yourself out of it. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. All of my information is in the About section. And please, when you get a chance, check out my Lula's Life channel. There's a link for that as well. Until next time, I love you. Blessed be. Oh.